Hey, what's up? Welcome to this new video. This one is paper 1-2 of May-June 2019. Now, with that being said, obviously, let's move on to question number 1. So part 1a, we have to evaluate this one. We have 4 over 7 divided by 5 over 8. So whenever we have a fraction divided by another fraction, we first write the first one as it is, 4 over 7. Then we change the divide to multiply, and then we have to flip this one upside down. The reason why we change that to multiply is because it's always easier to work with multiplication than division, right? So that's the trick that we use to solve this. So now we can simplify. 4 times 8 is 32. 7 times 5 is 35. And your answer will be this one for part A. Now for part B, we have root of 64 minus this. So one by one, we do understand root of 64 is actually root of 8 power 2, which is 8. Now this one, 125 is what it is, 5 times 5 times 5, which is 5 power 3. So cubic root of 5 power 3, it is just 5. So finally, just replace here. Here we have 8 minus 5, then that should be just 3 as your answer. Now let's move on to question number 2. So here we have to use a straight edge, which is a ruler, and a compass only in this question. We have to construct the locus of points inside of this quad ABCD that are equidistant from AB and BC. As you can see, here we have B and B is common, the line AB and BC, so we have to draw the angular bisector of angle B. So let's do that pretty easy. We have to use the compass. So first thing first, we have to measure length from B, let's say somewhere over here. Then we have to draw an arc in this direction. And also in this direction, you have to cut both lines. Now with the same distance, you go to this point of intersection. You draw another arc over here. And then with the same length, you go to this point of intersection, and then you intersect the other arc. It'll be somewhere over here. Now this point will be joined to this point to form the angular bisector of angle B. So we just have to keep this inside of the quad, so join these two but only inside. So that will be your answer for question number 2. Now let's move on to question number 3. So here we have the height of water in centimeter in a river is recorded every week for 10 weeks. 10 weeks, okay, fair enough. Now the heights of the water compared to its normal level are listed below. So here we have the values measured. So one trick we have to use here is whenever we have a list of numbers, we have to rearrange them in the ascending order. So let's begin with the smallest. Smallest number will be this one, minus 45. Then we are going to have minus 35, then minus 30, then will be minus 20, then we have minus 10, then we have 0, then we have 5, then we have 20, 25, and 40. So now the numbers are arranged in ascending order. Now part 1, we have to find the range. So the range is defined by the largest number minus the smallest number. So now we know this is the largest number, 40, minus the smallest is minus 45. So minus minus become plus. So we have 40 plus 45, that will be 85. Now let's move on to part B of your question. Part B is we have to find the mean. The mean is the sum of everything divided by the number of numbers that we have. So sum of everything, let's add them together. So obviously we can try to cancel out a few values already. For example, here we have 40 plus 5 is 45. That will cancel out with this. And then here we have minus 20, and 20 will go away. And what remains, we have 25 here. And here we have minus 10, and this and this. So 25 goes in this one. We have remaining minus 10. So here we have minus 10, minus 10, minus 30. That will be minus 50. Divided by number of numbers, we have 10 numbers here. That will be minus 5 as your answer. Again, How do you find this? You find the sum of all the numbers here. You add everything together, then divide by the number of values, which is 10, to find the mean. That will be part B of your question. Now let's move on to question number 4. So by writing each number correct to one SF, one significant figure, we have to submit the value of this one. So pretty easy. So first thing first, we have 71.8. So because it is correct to one SF, we leave the first one as it is for now. Then we'll look at this number. Now we ask ourselves if this number is more or equal to 5. The answer is no. Obviously 1 is less than 5, so it will change them to 0. So that will be the same, and this will become 0 and 0. So same thing here, we have 32.4. So correct to one SF, leave the first one, leave the 1 as it is. Then we ask ourselves if this number here, the next one, is it more or equal to 5? The answer is no, so we change it to 0. That will be 0.0. Now same way here we have 0.9198, but we first ignore the power, just a number on the inside. Now the same steps, however here we have to be careful. We don't consider, if our number starts with a 0, we don't look at 0 as the first number. We have to look at this one, right? So we leave this one as it is, 1SF. Then we ask if this number here, is it more or equal to 5? The answer is yes. If it is, then we have to add 1 to the first number. The first number is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. So that becomes 0.2, and the rest will become 0. So now we replace back in this fraction. You will have 70 minus 30 divided by 0.2 square. Okay, so simplify. That will be 40 divided by 0.04. Or we can try to do this separately. What is 0.2 square? 0.2 square is 0.2 times 0.2. Now how do we do this? Pretty easy. We first ignore the decimal place. 2 times 2 is 4. Fair enough. Then here we have 1 decimal place, and here we have 1 decimal place. So in total we have 2 decimal places. So we count 1 and 2. So your answer will be 0.04. Now we divide by 4 on both sides, you will have 0.01. Divide by 4, you will have 10. Now to make this become 1, we have to multiply by 100 on both sides. That will become 1000 over 1, and that will be 1000 as your estimate value. Now let's move on to question number 5. Lamps are made in a factory. Okay, fair enough. Now a random sample of 50 lamps is tested. Okay, 4 of them are found to be faulty. Okay, so from 50 lamps, 4 are found to be faulty. Now a total of 4,000 lamps is made in one day. Calculate the number of these 4,000 lamps you would expect to be faulty. Pretty easy. We use a ratio. So we can see that when we test 50 lamps, we found 4 of them were faulty. Now what if you test one lamp? One lamp will be 4 divided by 50 will be faulty. Now we are testing 4,000 lamps. So 4,000, that will be 4 over 50 times 4,000. So that will be simplified to, that will go away, divide by 5, you will have 80. So 4 times 8, that will be 32, that will be 0. So you will expect 320 to be faulty. That will be your question number 5. Now let's move on to question number 6. So here what do we have? We have part A. Daniel earns $760 each month. This is his income. He pays 15% of this earning in tax. Find the amount of money Daniel has after paying tax. So pretty easy. How much he pays in tax? So amount, tax amount. That will be 15% times his income. That will go away. And obviously we can do 15. So divide by, that will be 1.5 times 76. So we can obviously first find this value. So let's pretend it is 15 times 76. So 5 times 6 will be 30. 1 times 6 is 6 plus 3 is 9. 5 times 7 is 35. 1 times 7 is 7 plus 3 is 10. That will be 0, 4, 1, 1, 1. Now because here we have 1 decimal place, so we have to move 1 decimal place. So your answer will be 114. So the tax amount is this, is 114. So how much money he has left? Pretty easy. His income minus his tax amount. That will be what? Let's find out. That will be 6 at the end. So 5 here, right? That will be 10. So 5 minus 1 is the value of 4. And then 7 minus 1 is 6. So 646 will be the amount he has at the end after paying taxes. Now for part B, Daniel invests $1,200 in a saving account. Great. Now the account pays a simple interest. So here we have simple interest. So now we know the type of interest that we have. We can solve this question pretty easily. Invest is the principal P. Great. Interest is the rate here, the rate R. And we have to find the amount A in 6 years, which is the time, or the number of years. So we know that because it is simple interest, the formula we have to use is A is equal to what? It's equal to principal plus interest. Principal is P, interest is P RT, right? P is 1200, principal investment, plus 1200 times the rate, which is 2 over 100, 2%, and times the time, which is 6. So simplify, this and this will cancel out. So 2 times this will be 12. 12 times 12 will be 144. So 1200 plus 144 will be 1344 will be the amount he will have at the end of the 6 years. Now let's move on to question number 7. So here we have to find the fraction that lies exactly halfway between those two. Pretty easy. We first have to add them. Step number 1, we first have to add those fractions. So how do you add fractions? So because we have different base, we have to multiply them by each other. So 5 times 4 is 20. Then we cross multiply, that will be 12. Here we have plus, that will be plus, that will be 15. That will be 27 divided by 20. Now step number 2, we have to divide this by 2. So 27 over 20 times half, so divide by 2, same thing. That will become 27 over 40 as your answer. That is your answer for question number 7. Now let's move on to question number 8. A drink is made by mixing fruit juice and water in the ratio of 3:5. So this is fruit juice and water. Okay, so the drink is made using 2 liters of water. So 2 liters will be right here because we know it is 2 liters of water. Now calculate the amount of juice used. Pretty easy. So if we know that 5 shares represents 2 liters, 1 share will represent 2 divided by 5 liters. Now we know fruit juice is 3, so we have to find 3. 3 will be 2 over 5 times 3. That will be 6 over 5 liters. Now we can definitely simplify this. How? 6 over 5, we can multiply by 2. Multiply by 2, that will be 12 over 10. That will be 1.2 liters. So in this drink, we're using 1.2 liters of fruit juice. Now we have to find the value in milliliters. Pretty easy. So to change liters to milliliters, we have to multiply by 1000. That will become 1200 milliliters of juice used. So first thing first, we have to find the amount of juice by using ratio, and then we can convert that to this in order to find the amount used in this drink. Now let's move on to question number 9. A car starts a journey from rest. From rest means when speed was 0. Okay, here, from here, okay. It moves with a constant acceleration for 20 seconds. 20 seconds, right here. Until it reaches a speed of 15. Speed of 15 to 20, 15 will be right here. Now obviously it will be joined with a straight line. Why? Because it moves with constant acceleration. That's why it will be a straight line. Constant right here. Now what else? Until it reaches this, good to know, it then moves at a constant speed of 15 for 40 seconds. So 20 plus 40, that will be 60. And then it moves at a constant speed, so constant speed of 15, so you have to be 15 all the way through. Okay, that will be right here. Okay, so that will be part A of your question. Now something good to know is that when we have a speed time graph, the gradient of the graph is the acceleration. Now when you have a distance time graph, The gradient of the graph is the speed. So we have to know this difference. Now part B, we have to find the acceleration of the car in the first 20 seconds of the journey. So pretty easy. To find the acceleration, as I explained here, it is equal to the gradient of this graph. So for the first 20 seconds, how do you find the gradient? You can of course use 2 points on the line, or you can use the right angle triangle method. For example, here from 0 to 20, I can form a right angle triangle. Right, now to find the gradient, we just have to take the height, which is this value, which is 15, divided by the base, which is 20. So your answer will be 15 divided by 20. Now we can definitely simplify this. For example, I can divide by 2. That will be 10. That will be 7.5. And divide by 10, that will be 0.75. So your answer will be 0.75 meters per second for the acceleration. That will be your question number 9. Now let's move on to question number 10. So here we have to use set notation to describe the shaded region in the Venn diagram. So pretty easy. So this is shaded. So we can first do this. P have to union with R to get those two regions. Then it will be outside of Q. So we have to intersect Q outside prime. That will be your answer for part A. Now for part B, X is a positive number. Good to know. A is X between 9 and 10. Okay, is a value between 9 and 10. And B is an irrational number. Okay. Now let's see what we have to do here. Here we have to write down an element, which is A intersecting B, which means we have to find a value of X of an irrational number, which is between 9 and 10. So how do you find that? So that's what it means, eh? A intersecting B, so we have to find a number that satisfies both these conditions, irrational between those two. So one trick of doing that is actually I have to use a bit of logic here. So we have 9 that have to be between 9 and 10. Now what is 9? 9 can be, we know 9 is root of 81. What is 10? 10 is root of 100. That makes sense, right? So in this case, I can definitely replace this by root of 81 and this by root of 100. So what are the values inside, in between those two? We can have values of root of 82, root of 83, going on until root of 99. So X can be any of those values we can choose. So let's say I want to choose root of 83, for example. So that will be my irrational value between 9 and 10. So that's the trick you can use to find that value. The reason why I use square root, is because for the most square roots, they are irrational. That's why I chose to convert this to that. And then by observation, you can see these are the values in between those two values. Choose anything in between them. That will be your answer for part B. Now for part 11, we have to solve the simultaneous equation, means we have to find the value of X and Y. So one by one, I can first make this become subject. So 2y have to be 6x minus 6. Okay, that is my equation number 1. Now I can replace here. So if you observe, what is 4y? 4y is actually 2 times 2y. So your answer will be 9x plus 2 times 2y. Now what is 2y? 2y is also this. That will be 6x minus 6 is minus 5. That will be 9x plus 12x minus 12. That will be minus 5. So 9x plus this will be 21x. Send this over here. That will be what? Minus 5 plus 12. Let's see what do we get. So this and that. So 21x has to be the value of, so 12 minus this, that should be 7, right? So 12 minus 5, let's check. That will be 0, 10. 10 minus 5 is 5 plus 2, that should be 7. So that should be 7, so x will be 7 divided by 21. That will be 1 over 3. Now simplify to find the value of x. Replace So x is this, we have to find the value of y. So 2y is equal to 6 times 1 over 3 minus 6. That will be 2 minus 6 will be minus 4. So y will be minus 4 over 2, that should be minus 2. So x will be minus 2 and y will be, so x will be 1 over 3 and y will be minus 2. Right here, that will be your question number 11. Again, you can always solve using the other method, which is by elimination. It is up to you. Now let's move on to question number 12. So number 12, we have to write these numbers in order of size, starting with the smallest number. So let's see which one is the smallest. Obviously, this one will have to be the smallest because the power is the most negative. That will be this one. Then which one will be the other smallest? It will be this one. And then we have this one. And then finally, this one will be the largest. That will be part B. Again, this is pretty easy. I hope you guys understand why it is in this order. Okay, it is only 1 mark. Now for part B, we have P is equal to 6 times 10 power 10. Q is equal to this, 5 times 10 power 9. Now question, we have to find P minus Q. So here we have P, which is 6 times 10 power 10, minus Q, which is 5 times 10 power 9. Again, because the powers here are different, we cannot do minus directly. We have to first change the power for it to become the same. For example, for this one, I can change it. I can send 10 over here. That will be 60 times 10 power 9 minus 5 times 10 power 9. Now, because the power are the same, I can now take this minus this. So 60 minus 5 will be 55 times 10 power 9. Now, obviously, we have to give your answer in standard form. So that will be moving 1 decimal place. That will be 5.5 times 10 power 10. Now for part 2, we have P times Q. P is 6 times 10, here you go, and times 5 times 10, this. Now for multiply, it is a bit different. We don't need to care too much about the power. We just take this times this, that will be 30. And here we have 10. Now by the laws of indices, because the base are the same, we can add the powers together. So for example, when you have a power 2 times a power 2, because the base are the same, we can add the powers together. So 2 plus 2, this is the same as this. Now here we have 10 plus 9 will be 19. But your answer will be 3.0 times 10 power 20, because your answer needs to be in standard form. Now let's move on to question number 13. So we have to expand and simplify, so pretty easy. First thing first, square this one, that will be x squared, then minus 6x plus 9. That will be your answer for part A. Now again, if you guys don't know how to do this, pretty easy. This is also equal to, so when you write a square, what is a square? A square is a times a. So same thing here, it is x minus 3 times x minus 3. You can also expand in this way, so 1 by 1. X times this will become x squared minus 3x. Then minus 3 times this will become minus 3x plus 9. So you will have to become the same answer as well for part A. 2 ways of doing the same question. Now for part B, we have to factorize this one. So step by step. So let's break this down into 2 pieces. So here we have 18 minus 6y. Then leave some space. We have plus 5xy minus 15x. So here we have 18 and 6. So 6 is common. We take out 6. That will be, because we know 6 times 3 is 18, so 3 will be remaining minus y. Here we have plus, because here we have plus. Now we can see 5 is common, and x is also common. So you will have y remaining minus the value of 3. Now there's a difference here. Here we have 3 minus y, and here we have y minus 3. They are not the same, so we can change it actually. Because if you think about this, let's say if I have minus a, I can also rewrite this as minus outside times a. It is the same thing, right? So same kind of thinking here as well. We can just take out the value of minus outside. You will have this, and this will just switch side. That will be 3 minus y. It is the same thing. It is the same kind of thinking here. Same thing. Now because this and this are the same, we can factorize. You will have 3 minus y, and then remaining will be 6 minus 5x. And that will be your answer for part B. Now let's move on to question number 14. So here we have to write this one as this one. So this one we can use a simple method. We can first expand this one. That will become x squared minus 2ax plus a squared minus b. We can do this by comparison. So this is the same as this. So we have to compare this one to this one. So we can say minus 2a will be minus 7, right? So a will be 3.5. Now for this one, a squared minus b has to be 5. Okay? So here we have a squared. A squared is 3.5 times 3.5. So let's find out what is that value. So 5 times 5 is 25. 3 times 5 is 15 plus 2 is 17. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 3 is 9 plus 1 is 10. That will be 5, 2, 2, 1. So here we have two decimal places together. So here we have one decimal place, and here we have one decimal place. So together we have two decimal places. So we count 1, 2. That will be right here. So a squared will be 12, 25 minus b have to give you the value of 5. So b have to be 12, 25 minus 5, and that will be 12 minus 5 is 7, 7.25. So your answer will be here. X is x minus a is 3.5, that will be square, minus b will be minus 7.25. Okay, and that will be your answer for part A of your question. Now for part B, hence write down the minimum value of this. So once we express this as this, we have to know that the value at the end right here, hence, that's why I tell you hence, we use this value as your minimum value. So we have to know that. Whenever we complete the squares, the value at the end, it will be your minimum value or your maximum value, but in this case it is your minimum value. That will be part 14. Now let's move on to question number 15. So we have to write this one as a product of its prime factors. So pretty easy. Let's first find the prime factors. So we can divide by 2 first. Because it is even, you will have 8, 4. Divide by 2, you have 42. Divide by 2, 21. Divide by 3, that will be 7. So 168, that will be 2 power 3 times 3 times 7. So this is your answer for part A. Now for part B, we have to find the highest common factor of this. So the highest common factor of this and n is 42. Okay. Now given that n is between 200 and 300, find the two possible values of n. So one by one. First thing first, what is the prime factors of 42? So 42 divided by 2, that will be 21. Divided by 3, that should be 7. So 42 is equal to 2 times 3 times 7. Now let's make a list of prime numbers. So what are the prime numbers you know? You know prime numbers 2, 3, 5, 7, next one is 11, 13, and so on. These are the list of prime numbers that we know. So now a good question to ask is, how do you find the HCF of two numbers? So that's something good to know. For example, let's do this. So let's say I have two numbers. I have 8. It is 2 times 2 times 2. Let's say I have 6, which is 2. Let's choose 12. 12 is 2 times 2 times 3. So let's say find the HCF of those two numbers. So pretty easy. We just have to match them. So this match with this match with this, and this is a match. So we will have 2 times 2 as your HCF will be number 4. So this is how you find the HCF. Now here, for example, we have number 168. We have the factors is 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 7. Now we have a number n here that we don't know, but we know at least it has to be 2 times 3 times 7, because those matches for you to get your HCF as 42. So we at least know that. But now, because 42 is not between this, we cannot have, so we have to choose which are the values we can take so that we can have n between those two. Now, can I choose 2? No. Why? If you were to choose 2, your HCF will change because it will match with another 2. That makes sense. Now, can I choose 3? I can try, because the 3 matches here already. We don't have any more 3. Let's try. So let's see if I can choose 3. So that will become 42. So 2 times this times 42 times 3, that will be 6. That will be 12. So n will be 126, but that will be outside of this range, so 3 will not be a good value. Now we can try 5. 42 times 5, that will be 10. 4 times 5 is 20, plus 1 is 21. So n will be 210. 210 is good inside. So one possible value will be 210. Let's try the other one, 7. So 42 times 7. 2 times 7 is 14. For this, it will be 28 plus 1 is 29. So 294 will also be inside, so the other value could be 294. Again, to solve this question, we have to understand how to find the HCF. So what method do we use? And because we understand that n is now equal to 42 times something, which matches with this one, this one, and this one, we have to find the missing number here that we will need to have from the list of prime factors so that the numbers lie between these two, and then we have the corresponding values. That will be question number 15. Now let's move on to question number 16. So triangle A and B are drawn on the grid. Okay, so A and B, as you can see right there. Now part 1, we have to describe fully the single transformation that maps A onto B. So as you can see, the size did not change. It is just a shift in this direction. It will have to be a translation, right? It is a translation with column vector. So let's count. We know this point became this point, so we have to first count 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. So first we move left by 3. Left is minus 3. Up we went by 4. When you go up is positive 4. That will be your column vector, minus 3, 4. This is your one mark translation, and this is your other mark for this one. Now for part B of the question, triangle A is mapped onto triangle C by enlargement, center 0, 3, and scale factor minus 2. So pretty easy. Let's first draw the center. 0, 3 will be 0, 3 will be right here. Right here, sorry. 0, 3 is this point. Now to draw the enlargement, so we first have to join all the points. So this is the vertices. We have to join them with the center. That's the first step. Okay, join them and see what happens. There you go, and this joined. With this one. It's not perfect, but you get the idea, right? Now we have to understand that when you have a scalar factor of minus 2, the minus sign, it just means that the center of enlargement is between the object and the image, so it is not really a big deal. Minus is just the direction. Now 2 we have to count. It becomes 2 times of this size. So because here we have 1, right? 1 square times 2 will be 2 squares. Let's see, where does it match 2 squares? It will be 1 and 2. So that will be this shape. So that will be 2. Now what else? Let's check. So this one, it was 1, 2 times 2 become 4. Should be somewhere over here, right? So 1, 2, 3. So wait, something is missing over here. So this will go to this, keep going onto this. So this will go, oh, I guess the line is not very straight. That's why I'm having an issue to understand. I guess you should pass it over here exactly, this point. Or this one right here, actually. Maybe this one. Let's check. Let's double check. Should be actually this one. So this is kind of tricky. It should be passing through here. As you can see, the line was not straight. It's supposed to be going through this point. My apologies about this. It can be confusing sometimes. So you have to be careful by drawing your line your line as straight as possible. So now we can have this, so 2 here, so 1 becomes 2, so 2 will be here, this one. And here we have 2 becomes 4, 4 will be from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, that will be this one. Right, so just be careful, I guess, when you draw your line. And then finally we just have to join these two together. Of course, use a ruler to draw this triangle. This is not perfect, but you get the idea. First thing first, you connect all the points to your center, extending them in a straight line. Be very careful. And then we just have to understand the side here is 1 square, when we have to multiply by the factor of 2. Now minus is just the direction, will be on the other side of the center. It will be something over here. This is one way of doing this, obviously, by using the graph, or you can use matrix to find that as well. I can explain. So the way we use matrix is we first have to take the coordinates of triangle A. We have to minus the center. Then you will get the new points of A. So a new point of A. Then we have to use the formula, which is matrix times object is equal to image. So what is the matrix for enlargement? Pretty easy. Has to be minus 2, 0, 0, minus 2, where minus 2 is the scale factor. Now using this, you will have image. Now again, it is not your actual image because we are doing the enlargement with center OO. Now at the end, you have to add back your center to find your triangle C. So this is how you will actually find this. It is a kind of long step, I would say. You have to be careful, but this is the easiest way by using your graph. Okay, so here we have question number 17. So Nima has 6 cards. Okay, each card has a shape on it. All right, she takes 2 cards at random without replacement. So without replacement. Now part 1, we have to complete the tree diagram. So one by one, here we have triangle. So we have 2 triangles. So that will be 2 over 6 because we have 6 cards in total, right? Now if you choose one circle here, you have obviously, before we had 4 circles and 2 triangles, right? If you choose one circle, 3 will remain over 5. Now here, obviously you had 2 triangles, will be over 5. Now this one, same thing. If you take one triangle, 1 will remain over 5. So here we will have 4 will remain over 5. That will be part 1, complete your tree diagram. Pretty simple. Now part B, we have to find the chance that the shapes on Nima's 2 cards are the same. So same, it could be circle, circle, or could be triangle, triangle. That's the main idea. So circle, circle will be circle, circle. So we 4 over 6 and 3 over 5. So when you have n, will be multiply. O is plus. Triangle will be 2 over 6 times and the other triangle. So simplify, you will have 12 over 30 plus 2 over 30. That will be 14 over 30, which is 7 over 15 as your answer. That will be part B of your question. Now let's move on to question number 18. So here we have r is equal to this. We have to find the value of r when p is this. So pretty easy, replace p in this. So r will be 4 times p will be minus 8 plus 2 over 3 minus minus 2 will be 5. Your answer will be minus 6 divided by 5. That will be minus 1.2. Or you can leave this as your answer as well. No big deal. 6 over 5. Sorry, minus 6 over 5. Now part B, we have to rearrange the formula to make p become subject. So step by step, we have 4p plus 2 over the value of 3 minus p. We can first cross multiply it, right? You will have 3r minus pr is equal to 4p plus 2. Now let's bring all the p's together. We have sent the p over here. You will have 3r. Send this one over here, become minus 2, become 4p plus pr. Now we can factorize the p outside, so p will be here, remaining will be 4 plus r is equal to this one, 3r minus 2. Now let's continue over here. Obviously p will be 3r minus 2 divided by 4 plus r. That will be part B of your question. Now let's move on to question number 19. So here we have y is inversely, so proportional to the square of x, it is x squared. Now we understand we can rewrite this as y is equal to a constant and then the rest. Now when the value of x is 4, y is this, so we have to find the value of k first. So when the value of y is 10, replace k is k, x is 4, 4 squared will be 16, which means k will have to be, we cross multiply, that will be 160. Thus, we know our formula is y is equal to 160 over x squared. Now using the same formula, we have to find the value of y when x is this, so y will be 160 divided by x, that will be 160 divided by 100, that will be 1.6. So y will be 1.6. Now for part B, describe the effect on y when x is halved. So again, because it is inversely proportional, as you can see, it is inversely proportional to x squared. When it is halved, it will be multiplied by 4 times. Or we can use an example if you want to understand, right? Let's use an example. At first we had, for example, we had what? We had, our equation was y equal to 160 over this. Or can you, okay, that's fine. Let's let it be like this. Now we can say, okay, because the new x is half, so x will have to become half times x, half x, right? That's the suggestion, half x is halved. So we place here, you will have what? So that will be y is equal to 160 divided by x half. That will be x over 2 squared. Now that will be 160. That will be x squared over 4. Now simplify, that will become 4 times 160 over x squared. Now we can see here 160 over x squared is actually y, so that is 4 times y. So it will be y will be increased by 4 times. You can say what describes the effect of y on y. So y will be quadrupled. So y will become 4y. You can just write that if you want to. That will be part B. As you can see, as a proof here, we have shown that exactly what happened. That's why we can write this. That will be question number 19. Now let's move on to question number 20. So let's simplify this, pretty easy. So here we have the power is negative. So if you want to change that to a positive power, we have to flip the inside upside down. So pretty easy. That will become x 5y9 over 9x7y, and the power down will be positive. Now we can simplify, that will become x. So let's simplify the inside first. That will cancel out with this, that will be 2. That will be 8. And you will have y power 8 over 9x power 2 power half. That will become y power 4 over the value of 3. That will be x. Now why this is 3? Because we understand 9 is equal to 3 power 2, and 3 power 2 power half, it is simply 3, right? And this one is x power 2 power half, that will be x, and this is obviously times half, that will be 4. And that will be your answer for part 20. Now let's move on to question 21. A cuboid has a square base, so let's first draw this cuboid. Cuboid is a shape somewhat like this, right? It's a cube with a square base. Okay, let's the length of the base is y, so this is y, and this also will be y because it is a square base. Now the length of the cuboid is twice the length of this base. No, sorry, the height. The height is right here. So we say the height is equal to 2 times the length, so 2y. So the height will be 2y. Now the total surface area of the cuboid is this. We have to find the height. So let's find this one. The total surface area is this. How do you find the surface area of a cuboid? So we count. We have 1 side, 2 side, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's find one by one. So total surface area. First we have the base. That will be y times y will be y squared. base plus top, that will be plus y squared again. And then we have this side, that will be y times this. That will be 2y squared. But this is the same as the one in the back, obviously. So plus again 2y squared. And then we have this side, same thing, 2y squared. And the side over here, that will be 2y squared. But in total, we need to have 6 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's add everything together. That will be 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, that will be 8. Plus 1 plus 1, that should be 10. So 10y squared is equal to the surface area, which is 360. So y squared will be 36. So y will be root of 36, and that will be the value of 6. Now because y is length, it cannot be negative, so y will be the value of 6. But the height is actually 2 times y, 2 times 6, that will be 12. So 12 will be your answer for question 21. Now let's move on to question number 22. So here are the first 3 patterns in a sequence made using dots and lines. Okay, fair enough. Now we have to complete the table for the first 5 patterns in the sequence. So let's give it a try. So here, pattern number 1, dots, we have 1, 2, 3 dots. We have 2 lines, 1, 2 lines. Number 2, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 dots. And we have 7 lines. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now for this one, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 dots. And we have how many lines? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That'll be 11 lines. So let's double check just to make sure we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Wait, now we have 12. Let's double check again. So let me mark this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12 lines in, so 12 lines in total. Okay, good. Now we have to complete for the 4th and the 5th. So we can find those 2 by using observation, right? So you can see every time they're increasing by the same amount, which is plus 3 plus 3. So plus 3, that should be 12, plus 3, that should be 15. This one, they're increasing by the same amount as well, plus 5, plus 5, plus 5, that should be 17, plus 5, that should be 22. That will be part 1, complete your table. Now part B, we have to find an expression in terms of n for the number of lines in pattern n. So number of lines for this one, let's find out. For the first term, we had 2. For the second term, we had 7. Third term, we had 12. So we can see we have a common difference of 5, plus 5, plus 5. Now because we have this, we can first write 5n for now. Now we can check. For the first term, we are supposed to get 2. So 5 times the n, when n equal to 1, it is equal to 5. But this is not the right answer. It is supposed to be 2. So how can you change 5 to 2? You have to minus 3. So we minus 3 out here as well. So your answer will be 5n minus 3. Now we can check definitely to verify the answer. For example, when n equals to 2, it is supposed to be 7. So 5 times 2 minus 3 should be 10 minus 3, that is 7. Check and check, that is good to go. So that is confirmed to be your nth term for the number of lines. Now for part C, we have Anwar makes one of these patterns using 92 lines. So we have to find the number of dots in Anwar's pattern. So pretty easy. So this is the number of dots. So number of lines, sorry, the term for the number of lines. So 9, that will be 5n minus 3. Number of lines was 92. So 5n minus 3. So 5n was what? That will be 95, right? 92 plus 3 will be 95, n will be 95 divided by 5. That will be 1 here, 4 remaining, that should be 9. So n, the termth, should be 19th term. Now how many dots do we have for the 19th term? So pretty easy. By observation, you can see that here we'll have to multiply by 3 to get this one. Multiply by 3, by 3, by 3, and by 3. So n multiply by 3, that should be 3n. So n is this, number of dots will be 3n. 3 times 19 will be what? 3 times 9 is 27, that should be 57. Number of dots will be 57. And that will be your question number 22. Now let's move on to question number 23. So this one is, I think it's quite long. We have to be careful with this question. So the diagram shows two circles, both with center. Okay, right here. Now, the radius of the small circle is 3. Okay, this is 3. And the radius of the large circle is 6. So the large one is 6. Right. Now, the minor sector angle has an angle of 60. So here you go, this is 60 degrees. Okay, great. Now we know that the total area of that region is given to you by k pi centimeter square. We have to find the value of k. Now, something we have to know is that how do you find area of a circle? So area of circle, we have to know it is pi r square, where r is the radius. Now, how do you find the area of sector? It is the angle, let's call the angle theta, over 360 times pi r square. This is how you find the area of a sector. Now, how would you find the area of that region? So step by step, let's see how can we find that. So let's first, we can make a few drawings if you want to, so it can make your life easier. For example, step number 1, we can first find the area of this one. What is the area of the small one here? This one. That will be 60 degrees and the radius of 3. That will be area of sector, should be the angle over 360 times pi r squared, that should be 9. So simplify, that will be 1 over 6 divided by 3, that should be 3 over 2. Your answer will become 3 over 2 pi for this area. Number 1. Done. Okay, now we can find the area, part 2. We can find the area of this ring, right? So how would you find the area of the ring? So by observation, to find the area of this whole ring, for example, I'm looking at this area, just to confirm, of this whole thing right here, of the whole ring, we can take the area of the whole circle minus the circle inside to find the area of the ring. So the whole circle will be pi r square, that will be 36, minus the inside circle, that should be pi r square, that should be 9. 36 minus 9 will be 27 pi for the area of that ring. Now again, we don't need the whole ring. As you can see here, we only need this part. So we have to find the area of this one. This is my number 3, right? So how would you find the area of this one? So step by step, we can look at this whole thing to find the area of that one. So we can look at this. We want to find this, right? We know this was found in number 1 as 3 over 2 pi, right? Now to find this one, we first have to find the whole thing minus this one to get this one. Now the whole thing is pretty easy as well. Area of sector, the angle is 60 over 360 times pi is pi, r squared, this is 6, right? This is the big one, that will be 36. Now we can divide by 36, that will be 1, that will be 1, 0, 0, 0 cancel out, you will have 6 pi. So from here we can conclude the area over here, that should be the whole thing, 6 pi minus 3 over 2 pi. Now we understand 3 over 2 is actually, what is 3 over 2? Is 1.5. So 6 minus 1.5 is what? That'll be 5, 10, that should be 5 here, that should be 4. That will be 4.5 pi. So finally, to find the area of the shaded region, we need this one inside, the small one, that should be 3 over 2 pi, and plus the one outside, it will be this one, 27 pi minus the one that we don't need, which is 4.5 pi. That makes sense, right? So let's see what happens. This is 1.5 minus 4.5 plus 27 pi. So let's do this two first. So what is 4.5 minus 1.5? That will be 0. That will be 3. So that will be, because this is 4.5 minus 1.5, it will be 3. But what is 1.5 minus 4.5? It will be minus 3 pi. And plus 27 pi, your answer will be 27 minus 3 should be 24 pi. So finally, step by step, we were able to find that the area is 24 pi. Comparing with k pi, value of k have to be 24 for your question number 23. Now let's move on to question number 24. So here we have what? We have A, B, C are points on the circle center O. A, B, C are points on the circle center O, right? With AB equal to BC, so AB right here is equal to this one. Okay, good to know. And what else? So P is the midpoint of the chord here. This is the midpoint. And Q is also the midpoint right here. Okay, good to know. Now, question. We have to prove that triangle OAP. Where's OAP? OAP, this one, small one, is congruent to triangle OCQ. OCQ. Okay, step by step. So we have a few ways of proving that. So one way is SSS, proving all the sides, or the three sides are the same. All the three corresponding sides are the same. So first thing we can say that we know that AP have to be CQ. It is given by the question, according to question. That's the first one. Now, obviously, we understand that this one have to be the same as this one, which is AO has to be CO, because it is the radius of the circle. And let's see if we can find another way as well. It could be easier, but let's see what else do we need to find. So here, what else do we have? So we have a triangle OCQ. So OCQ will be this one, and this remaining side will be this one, obviously. Right. So obviously this one will have to be the same as well. Let's write this down. So that will be the side OQ. So this sorry, let's write OP first. It was on the first triangle here. Let's keep this consistent. Is equal to OQ. Why? Because it is the same perpendicular distance from the center O to the midpoint of the respective chords. You can say it is the perpendicular distance from O to chord. You can write that if you want to. So according to SSS, we confirm that they are congruent. So that is part A of your question. Now again, there's other ways to prove that. We have to know there's also using so to prove congruency, we have SSS. That is one way. So angle actually is AA will be similarity. It is not congruent. So we can use SAS or ASA. So we prove the two sides around the angle and the angle in between are the same, or the angles and the side in between are the same. So that will be the three methods we can use to prove congruency. But here we're able to show that the three corresponding sides are the same, and hence we can understand they have to be congruent by this method. Now let's move on to part B. So here we have given that the obtuse angle COA is 140. So COA, that will be 140. So here in part B, I realized I made a silly mistake. I did not read this correctly. Given that the obtuse angle is 140, which means it is not this one, it is actually the other one. This will be 140. Now because the angle here is 140, we realize that this is the angle at center. Obviously the angle at circumference will have to be half the value of the center one, so 140 divided by 2 will be 70. So this whole thing here will be 70. But we know that these two triangles here are the same, which means this have to be 35 and this will have to be 35. Right. Now finally, because this is the radius and this is the radius, this and this have to be the same, so this is also going to be 35. So your answer here for your angle QCO have to be 35 degrees. Again, pretty simple. We realize that the obtuse is actually this one. This is 140. Now we know that the angle at center is always twice the angle at the circumference, so this will have to be half this value. So 140 divided by 2 will be 70 for this whole thing. But now we know that these two triangles are the same, so this angle here have to be half and half, so 35, 35. Now we'll look at this triangle here. Now this is the radius, which means this angle and this angle have to be the same. If this is 35, this also will have to be 35, and this is your value of angle QCO. That is your question number 24. Number 25. So here we have P is 4 minus 203 times Q is 102 minus 1. That'll be rows by column, so 4 times 1 is 4, 0 times 0 is plus 0, so that will be 4. Rows by column, 4 times this will be 8, plus 0 is 0. This, so rows by column, so minus 2 times this will be minus 2. Rows by column, so minus 2 times this will be minus 4, minus 3, so that should be minus 7. That will be PQ. Now for part B, we have M is equal to this. The determinant of M is minus 4, so pretty easy. How do you find determinant? Pretty easy, that is 3 times K, minus T, minus 1 times minus 2 have to give you the value of the determinant. 3K plus 2 have to be minus 4, so 3K, minus 6, so K have to be the value of minus 2. Now we have to find M inverse, so pretty easy. Now we know M is now equal to 3, 2, minus 1, minus 2. What is the adjoint matrix of M? That will be minus 2, 3. That have to be, change the sign of those two, that should become minus 2, 1. So finally your inverse will be 1 over determinant, which is this one, times this will be minus 2, 1, minus 2, 3. Again, if you want to simplify, you will have 1, 1, minus 0.5, minus 1.5. So this will be the inverse of M. And that will be your question number 25.